everyone, and welcome to another video from Egne. Today we'll be going over a couple different things with in-your-hill tips as far as saving resources to be able to feed the feeding ground, as well as how to properly read a battle report. Before we go into that, we do have a Discord open. I will be leaving the link down in the description below. This is used as a community tool and asset, so there's absolutely no bullying, no being mean, no anything in it, or else you'll be kicked and banned. On the other side of it, as I've said in other videos, as we start to grow bigger, and if YouTube ever decides to start monetizing my content, the first 3 months will be given away to somebody that is subscribed and is in my Discord. And that'll be 100% giveaway for the first 3 months. And then after that, it'll be 25% that I will give on a bi-weekly. So the first one will be weekly, and then it'll be bi-weekly or once a month after that for 25%. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get right into it. So one of the first things, somebody was talking in the Discord about, honestly, video ideas, because I'm starting to grasp the straws. And one thing I had never discussed as far as in your hill is cutting off your worker nests. If I can find even where the hell I put mine. These, yeah. So the reason why you cut these off, and I'll show you, if you leave them all on, or access to them, then your feeder nest has a reduced time. So you're constantly filling this with food and water. See how right now it has 15 hours before it empties out. But if you block them off, if you block them off like that, then we go back to the feeder nest. It now has 10 days, 22 hours. So that's one way that you can kind of save yourself having to really fill this thing back up very often. You know, once a week, once every week and a half is a lot better than trying to fill this every day, especially when you're going through with your mutations and stuff, and you need that water resource to be able to upgrade some of the mutations. So that's one little tip. The other little tip is like the things that you want kind of close is like your sand depots and such. It's kind of a toss-up. It's said that if it's closest to like your queen in your depots, then you actually have a little bit higher of a resource production. I haven't really seen that kind of difference, but that's what the game tries to tell you. So I mean, you could follow their dictation and want on that, but I don't see a difference at all. So I don't really think that's a valuable tip to try to give. But you can do that if you so wish. Now we'll get into the battle report side of things. So when you're looking initially at a battle report, you have this screen, which tells you obviously win, loss, power ratio, survive, deaths, heal, slightly injured. And now mines and duels and everything else like that are completely different from an actual battle report. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Mines are a little more close, and so that's why we're going to use that scenario today. But when you're in duels, especially, your combat speed doesn't take any effect because it's whoever is attacking it is always going first. When you're in special ant duels, it literally strips all of your stats completely, and only works with your special ants and your insect. So you gotta take everything into account as far as that. But mines are the closest example that I can really use, and as you can see, we don't really fight a lot in our server. We only fight like an island Alliance Expedition and on SVS Day. So we'll be using mines today. So when you very first go over, so you can go and, of course, look at your ants and everything. The one distinguished thing to be able to notice is that people will always ask about the slightly injured versus the severely injured. So depending on your research, the amount of conversion from severely injured or slightly injured to severely injured is depending on your research, how many healing pools you have, etc., etc. That basically means that when you hit somebody, that's the pool is drawing out of as far as what your severely injured are or your deaths. Now, your severely injured obviously are the ones that go to your healing pool, and you can even click on it and it tells you all of this. The slightly injured ants are ants that will return to the battle, like if you are in squirters or out on tile or something like that and somebody hits you or hits your hill, etc., etc. So now we move on. You of course can see your skill kills, skills used, etc., etc. Pretty straightforward as far as that on both sides. But the thing that you want to really look at is the unit attributes. And now the unit attributes have a lot of things that you can draw from different areas, from a king title to your mutations, buffs, etc., etc., that will make a difference in your stats themselves. But you can actually go in and you can look at them individually, like for your opponent, by clicking on the little bar, and it'll tell you where you're getting the extra bonus. Now there's things that are like the other buff. Those mean things that are like titles, buffs that you use from your ornaments, all those kind of things. This is where they all kind of compile into one thing, is in this other buffs. But as you can see, you can also look and see what people's cells and such are at. The VIP, you can kind of go into detail as far as where they are doing better than you are, or where you're doing better than them. In this case, I was doing better than them, and a lot of it is because of my insect and my cells and germs and mutations and etc. Plus, I also have a higher combat speed, so that all helps tremendously in why I beat him. So you go into the next one. The next one is defense. The blue is defense. That one is your special attack, skill attack, and then your special skill defense, your health, and your combat speed. Your combat speed plays a large part in a lot of combat situations, not in duels or anything like that, but if you have the ability to be able to hit first, then obviously you have more of a chance to kill them off before they even have a chance to be able to hit you, which is kind of the specialty with shooters, is having that higher combat speed is like almost like a must, because you're trying to kill them off as fast as you possibly can. Now we're looking at one where I lost. I got my ass whooped. So right off the bat, we can see his insect is higher. He has MR. I'm not going to pronounce that. That's actually a really good ant for a shooter. He has an additional star on his Lathi. So right there, that tells probably about 25% of the reason why I lost this particular fight. Then we get over into the stats, and you can see, obviously his attack is way higher. You can look at the differentials between his bonuses and mine. So you can look at it, and you can start going one by one. So evolve 175, we got the same. Special attack, he has 210. I have, if you'll fucking click, I got 191. So then you start seeing where the difference starts coming in. I have a higher insect than he does. His cells are 246, 206, 180, 106. So yeah, you can start seeing a big difference as we start going down. My genes are a little bit better than his cells are a little bit better than mine, etc., etc. Plus, as you go through the report more, you can see that, you know, his combat speed, he has 42 combat speed on me. So he hit first, and that's why it was a big ouchie report. But that's how you basically go through and you look at a combat speed, and you can do a breakdown of exactly where somebody is beating you, what you need to improve to be able to beat them. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of skill as far as ant selection and combos to be able to counter. This particular case, the only thing I can really do to counter is to run a Guardian Shooter and run like a Giant Tooth Lathy Reapmaster to try to counter, or run like a Giant Tooth Slim Arched Lathy / Reapmaster to try to silence him out. That's the only thing that I can really do, but for the most part, because his stats are so increasingly better than mine, I wouldn't have had a chance. But anyway, I hope that helped a little bit with y'all, and I hope that this helps you in the future. If you have any video requests, please say something in the Discord, or comment in the comments below to be able to get a request. I take any and all requests to try to cover it to the best of my ability. And we'll see you in the next one. Igna's out.